Hey everybody, and welcome to a new video. Hope you're having a wonderful day and God bless you. Today I'm going to walk you through the roofing sales funnel that has allowed me to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars for roofing contractors in the US in multiple states. And what I mean by roofing sales funnel is pretty much the back end of the lead generation. So obviously on my channel I talk a lot about how to generate quality leads, and I run Facebook ads, I run Google ads, YouTube ads. Some companies might only, get leads from referrals, word of mouth, or through organic. Doesn't matter. There's one aspect, which is getting the leads. No matter how you do it, let it be paid ads, let it be organic. And then there's the back end. So what happens on the back side of that? Like when a lead comes in, what happens to that lead? It's really a 50-50 thing. Like a lot of companies will just focus on one thing. For example, the getting quality leads. So those guys will do everything like I'm showing it on my channel to filter through leads, just getting the best people in, which is great. So they might be seeing a good return on their ad spend, for example, and it's working. So a lot of the times they get complacent. And then on the flip side, there are people who make a lot of money and get a good ROI even though they're getting shitty leads in, because they got the sales funnel figured out completely. It's really one of the lowest hanging fruits that you can implement to improve ROI and revenue in your business in general, no matter what you're doing. Like I said, no matter where your leads are coming from, if your sales funnel is right, it's universal, so it will help you in a lot of different ways. And before I continue, if you're new to this channel, my name is Noah, Noah Waltz, like my channel says, and I work with roofing contractors, and I've helped companies grow from $1 million a year to $3 million a year just by implementing the system that I'm about to show you. So I don't want to position myself as somebody who knows everything by any means, but over the years and through trial and error, I have definitely learned a thing or two. So even if you can just learn one or two things in this video that you can implement in your business, it will probably save you a lot of money or make you a lot of money. So let's get into it. First of all, over the years of working with roofing contractors and doing their marketing, meaning Google ads, Facebook ads, and all that, there are a couple of main key struggles that I have realized. So first of all, you're getting a lot of leads, but you're not able to book enough people in. And there are, once again, two ways that you can go about it. You can either try to improve the lead quality, or you can try to improve the back end. And I've a lot of the time just been focusing on improving the lead quality, but at one point it just stagnates. So you when it comes to like Facebook ads, you just won't get it to a level where you're only getting refill quality leads, which is obviously still fine. Like you can still hit a great ROI, but at one point to really maximize things, you gotta figure out the back end. Then second problem, driving 2 hours just for someone to no-show. So no-shows is also a big thing. People just kind of like reaching out, booking an appointment, and then you use up your fuel and you drive there 2 hours just for somebody to not open the door. So that's a problem too, which also ties back into the back end and how you treat when somebody when they book an appointment. Then the third problem would be the homeowners just getting estimates. So this is the thing where, okay, so you drive to the appointment, you have the appointment, you sit down with them, and you write them an estimate, send it over, and then you just don't hear back from them. And the issue with that is like it's something that you sometimes can't really control, but a lot of the times, like a couple of weeks later, they tend to still go with the company, obviously, because roofing is usually something that's pretty urgent. So when somebody reaches out for a roof, it's not something that they can just push off for a whole year. Like they got to get it done. So if not with you, then with somebody else. And what happens a lot of the times from my experience is you write them an estimate, and then they talk to a couple other roofers and they completely ghost you. And then after a while they just shoot you a text, hey, I went with another company because they had cheaper prices. Now that's once again something that you can't always avoid. Like there are just people out there price shopping. So this is really also about like what kind of ads you're running and what people you attract. Like, are you going after the cheaper people or are you going after the wealthier people? But bottom line is those people will always exist. And I mean, obviously if you can get the same thing for a cheaper price, then a lot of the times you would choose the cheaper price. But by having the back end right, so like the whole back end experience of them reaching out and then what happens after they reach out, then you can really leave an impression that makes people want to go with you compared to just any other company. And I'm going to walk you through like in more detail what I mean by that, but it's all about like staying in contact with the leads, nurturing the leads, and just putting an amount of effort in like in the back end that not a lot of other companies are doing. So this kind of like gives you an edge, and people will a lot of the times choose you just for the sake of working with you. So just to show you an example, number wise, let's just assume that an average deal, like on an average roof that you close, you profit $4,000. Just for this example. Example 1, you spend $1,000 on ads, you get 20 leads, so that would be like a $50 cost per lead, which is pretty average. Then your lead to reply rate is 70%, which is not bad. Your reply to appointment rate is 50%, your appointment to show rate is 70%, and your show to close rate is 20%. So considering those numbers, and it's like, this is how granular you need to get if you want to improve this, like the whole back end. You at the end of the day get one closed deal because of all of those factors. Like, it's, you gotta watch at everything as like one layer. It's like one step after another, and the lead just going deeper down the funnel until it comes to the lead closing. And at every stage you get a certain percentage of fall off. That's completely normal. Like, not every lead will reply, not every lead will book an appointment, not every lead will show, and not every lead will close. But it's all about like looking at those numbers and trying to have processes in place for every single step that increases those numbers, even if it's just slightly. Because what you can see on the right is it's the same amount of ad spend, same amount of leads, but instead of 70%, 80% of your leads reply. There's like 10% increase. So out of 10 people, that's one more that replies. Then next step, reply to appointment rate. If you can increase that by 20%, so just like 20% more people, book an appointment when you talk to them. Next one, increase the show rate from 70 to 85%. That's a 15% increase. Then the close rate from 10 to 30%. That's a 10% increase. So slight increases on every stage. And what happens is, at the end of the day, instead of closing one deal with the same leads, you close 3 deals. So instead of a 4x ROI, you now have a 12x ROI. And instead of making $3,000 in profit, you make $11,000 in profit. Now, obviously, also when we look at like scaling, like this is a very small scale example with $1,000 of ad spend. If we look at like, if you really want to scale your business up and, reach like, $200, $300, $400, $500 a day in spend, like when it comes specifically to advertising, then obviously going from a 4x ROI to 12x ROI is huge. And even if it's just from a 4x ROI to a 8x ROI or a 6x ROI, like that's gonna be a lot of, that's a lot of money that you're leaving on the table if you're not improving those numbers. And usually, like, even you might have one layer like completely dialed in, like maybe your lead to reply rate is perfect, but then on another layer you might be able to improve something. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe you can get something useful from this video that will save and make you a lot of money in the long run. So first of all, when it comes to the $1 million roofing sales funnel, how I labeled it, those are really the components. So first of all, there's the funnel filtering and appointment booking. So that's kind of like the first step. Like, this is how you capture the lead, which kind of like ties a bit like back into the advertising side of things. Like, it's essentially the landing page that you have. Then on that landing page, you can, for example, also have a chat widget, which I'm going to go over. Then when it comes to the like actual back end, we have GoHighLevel automations. If you don't know GoHighLevel, you're probably living under a rock, but it's like a big software that allows you to have like, build automations. It's pretty much a CRM that allows you to build text message and email automations pretty easily and manage everything in one thing. I'm going to walk you through it. And the next thing is the 24/7 AI booking machine built on CloseSpot. So I'm going to walk you through that, like how to essentially build that and what it does. So that's a super powerful thing. I'm not the biggest fan of AI yet when it comes to calling, but when it comes to texting, it's huge. Next thing, obviously the setters. So this is going to be the calling, like who's actually calling the leads, booking the appointments. And I'm going to show you like how I usually set that up with the people I work with, and also walk you through the script that I give to my setter when he books the leads. Then appointment confirmation and reminder. So just very important to increase show rates. And then last but not least, email nurturing. And bottom line, the things that we want to optimize using all of those different things that I'm going to walk you through is, number one, lead qualification. So we want to get rid of tire kickers and all those people, ideally automatically, so we don't need to waste time on them. Second thing, speed to lead. So we want to optimize the speed to lead as to where we ideally reach the lead within seconds or within a minute. Third thing is automated long-term follow-up. So just have automations in place that automatically follow up with people long-term, because not every lead will reply right away. And if we don't have this in place, then we're just, have people falling through the cracks, opportunities that we could have closed. So it doesn't hurt to set this up. And especially if your pipeline stacks up to, a couple hundred or a couple thousand leads, then this will give you like appointments automatically pretty much forever. So super crucial. And then the last thing is lead nurturing. So essentially just sending out information to the leads about you and your company, what you guys do, what differentiates yourself, so you can sell them before even talking to them. So I'm gonna again walk you through in more detail, but essentially the goal is to give them a lot of information even before meeting them. Like if you book an appointment, to send them stuff that will make them want to buy from you and go with your company before you even talk to them. So first thing, the funnel filtering and appointment booking. So what you can see right here is a landing page. So it's just an example, and essentially on this landing page, like I've shown this a couple times on my channel, but just a short and sweet page, like we wanted to convert very well. This is not an advertising video, so I'm mainly just gonna talk about the things that are relevant for the actual backend funnel. And of course, one thing, first of all, is like to get quality leads and to filter through the people. So get rid of renters and just ask a couple questions about the service, and essentially just criteria that you want to use to qualify leads in the front end. If you're running insurance ads, you might want to, ask insurance related questions or ask for any kind of roof damage. So you're only getting like good leads. That's one thing. Then the second thing is, for example, in this funnel, I have something like more customized on this. So essentially we put a video on here that just is the owner, talking to the camera, saying, hey, you're looking for a new roof, walking them like, what are the next steps, what's going to happen when you sign up, which is really just adding like a personal touch. So when that person is reaching out, it just, helps pre-selling the lead on the company essentially. So this is all that this whole backend system is supposed to do, like make it as easy as possible for your sales reps or you to go out there and actually close them. And it starts with, the presentation. So obviously your ads, but also the landing page, like does it look clean? And then, the info that you put on here, like benefits of the company, customer reviews, maybe some photos of projects, what are the next steps, something personalized like a video. And then one last thing that I also have is the chat widget that I talked about. So what you can see right here, people just kind of like click on that, and then they can immediately just start asking a question and get in contact with the company. And once again, like most people when running ads, they really just have like a simple form, people fill in their data, and then that's it. But even if we talk about the back-end system, this stuff right here is already like part of the back-end. It matters because it's the experience, and if you have something like this set up, like people will remember, like when they sign up, they will remember, okay, was this company that I reached out to? So when we reach out to them or the setters reach out to them, they actually remember that they signed up, which is obviously crucial. So it's going to make everything easier. And then the second step will be the thank you page. So what you can see right here is a thank you page, meaning when somebody submits this page right here and submits the form, they will automatically be sent to this thank you page. And you want to use that space. So again, it's one step further down the funnel. Like first like top of the funnel is just getting the lead, like capturing their data. So that's the first landing page. One step deeper, we want to book the appointment, or we want to get them on the phone. So that's pretty much what we're trying to do right here. Like we're already treating it like, okay, here's an opportunity for you to go deeper down the funnel yourself, if that makes sense. So you have two ways. You can either have like a button where they can call you, so they can click it and they can just call up the company right away. And this is like the best thing you can do, because if somebody's able or ready to talk right now and has like an urgent roof problem, them being able to just click the call button and call right away is obviously like a huge thing. And if somebody's there to actually answer their phone, that's amazing, and they can book them in right away. Second thing you can try is put a calendar on here. I usually do this a lot of the time, so just to make them be able to book their own time. And obviously this appointment, you still want to confirm it, like you want to have a rep reaching out, confirming it. But what this will allow you to do is differentiate leads that are really serious from leads that are maybe not that serious. So some people, like out of 10 people, 6 might just fill out the survey and then we can contact those leads and get in touch with them. But 4 might book their own appointments. So we know that those 4 are probably the better quality leads, which allows us to optimize the ads. And it's also easier for the funnel. Like if somebody books their own time on a calendar, we can have all the automations in the back end that essentially automatically set things in motion, which will just decrease the time of response and essentially get the appointment before somebody else does. Because chances are that the lead is going to reach out to a couple of companies. So if we can lock in the appointment as fast as possible, that's a very good thing. So that's the funnel, and then essentially, if we once again look at the funnel, like from a perspective of going one step after a time, like one layer deeper every time, the next step would be obviously the backend automations. So this is where I mentioned GoHighLevel, which is once again a nice CRM tool that has a lot of capabilities when it comes to automating text messages, emails, and stuff. So even if you have a main CRM, like a lot of people use JobNimbus or Roofr or whatever you have, having GoHighLevel on the side is super beneficial just for the sales aspect. Like I had roofing companies completely switch, essentially use GoHighLevel for all their sales purposes. So just all the leads, so the junk, the good leads, everything just in GoHighLevel, manage the sales there. And then once you convert the leads into actual estimates or appointments, you can send them into your main CRM. And when it comes to GoHighLevel, there's really three things that you mainly want to implement. So you want to have an immediate intro text. So there's two scenarios. Let's just say somebody just fills up the survey that I just showed you on the funnel. Then that's a lead. And we want to send them a message immediately that's with the goal to book them in for an appointment or get them on the phone. The second scenario is that the lead books their own appointment on the calendar. So what we want to do then is obviously say the same thing, like, hey, John, this is Alex from XYZ Roofing. We just saw that you booked your appointment for Wednesday at 10 a.m. Can you confirm that time? So that way, we have just a personalized nurture message, and you can set all this stuff up in the backend and GoHighLevel with like different kind of like workflows. But the key thing is that your automated response is obviously personalized to what they actually did. So that's the immediate intro message. You want to send that right away for speed to lead. Then the second type of messages are follow-up messages. So this is, let's say, even if they book their own appointment or maybe they don't, you want to have messages going out that just follow up with them for multiple days, ideally sometimes even multiple weeks. Like let's say on this funnel, they just go through the whole thing and they just give us their address, their phone number, their email, they just submit this. Then they receive this immediate message, and if they don't reply to that immediate message and they don't reply to our phone calls, meaning we just can't reach them neither through text or through phone call, then they just keep receiving messages. I'm in an example account right here, and this workflow that you can see is essentially the first workflow that a lead answers. So I'm just gonna try to walk you through, like in general, how a workflow works, even though this might look complicated if you've never done this. You have an action. So for example, this is what is called an action. Like you can usually here, you can just click the plus, and then you have a bunch of different actions, like thousands of things that you can do, but essentially what we want to focus on is the SMS action. So just sending a text message. Like a lead comes in, they get into this workflow. First thing that happens, hey, contact first name, so it's personalized, like, hey John, this is Tyler from Way Roofing, just letting you know we received your roofing inquiry and we'll get back to you shortly. And then asking a question, do you want to schedule an in-home consultation so we can check on your roof and explain options? So again, the question, trying to move them deeper down the funnel. Then what we do is we essentially wait. So what we do is we wait for a contact reply. And then we have like multiple branches. Like let's say they do reply. If they reply, you can see on the left, they go down here. And then we have a condition. So, and this is how like granular this gets, like building this stuff out. So I just wanted to show you one time. But if they reply with a positive intent, so remember we asked something like, so do you want to schedule your in-home consultation? So if they reply with a positive intent, meaning they replied something like, sure, yeah, let's do it, let's schedule time, then we want to move them down this branch right here, like the left branch, which is yes. If they said no, then we want to move them down this branch right here. In general, what you do with those actions is up to you. Like if you, for example, have setters calling the leads, what I would recommend is just you don't really need to play around with this too much. What you can do is, like, for example, if they reply positive, like, yeah, I want to schedule a consultation, you can automatically have send them like a meeting link, something like a message with, hey, here's the booking link, feel free to schedule your time, which will essentially do the same thing like on this funnel where they can book their own time on here. It will be the same calendar, and you just send them the link to it. Now, if they reply negatively, you can, for example, enable D&D to make sure nobody's reaching out to that lead, or you can just have your setters like check what the lead actually replied to make sure, and then call the lead up, try to book them in over phone. But you get the idea. Now, second scenario is they don't reply. So you remember we have the wait step where we say contact reply, and then we also have a timeout, which is 30 minutes. So let's say they received that first intro message right here, and we asked them, but they don't reply after 30 minutes. Then we move them down to the next stage, which will be the follow-up one. So in here we, for example, say, hi, first name, just checking in. You wanted a quote for your roofing project, right? So very simple. Same thing, wait for a reply, and if they don't reply, next message after an hour. Hey, it's Tyler here. And then actually what we do here is we add some more personalization. So on the funnel, we obviously ask for their address, like their home address. So what we can do is we can use custom values, meaning we can go in here and you can see contact full address. So essentially how this would work is we just go in here, you can click this little tag, and then you can just go on to contact and you can go to full address. And it kind of like gives you this thing. So this custom value with every message will be replaced with the lead's address. So how this would actually look like is, hi John, Tyler here. 123 Main Street is your home, right? So it kind of like seems super personalized. Like if that's really their address, you know, they're probably gonna look at that message twice. And it's just a bit more creative. Like not a lot of people do this, and this is kind of like a little cheat for you. Like we have really seen like huge response rates to that message. That really works very well. But same thing, like if they don't reply to that, move them down the funnel. So that's after 1 day, and that will be the next message. Hey, it's Tyler. Want to personally reach out one more time. Do you still need an estimate for your roof? And sometimes, you know, it takes a couple messages. Like sometimes it takes like 3, 4, 5, 6 messages, and then all of a sudden, like they say, hey, yeah, I was busy, sorry, let's do this. And then you can book them in. We just don't want anyone to fall through the cracks. And I mean, if they reply negative at any time, we stop bugging them. So it's not about spamming people. It's just about like getting them to either reply with yes or with no, but we don't take nothing for an answer. Now, you need to also keep in mind that while we're sending those text messages, we have people calling them. So as soon as somebody books an appointment, meaning that the setter calls them and they book them in for a time, those setters will also mark the appointment in the software, which is GoHighLevel, which will remove them from this whole workflow. So let's just say they received the second message and they didn't reply to the message, but the setter booked them in, then they get removed from this workflow and they get added to another workflow. And that new workflow that they're being added to is this one right here, which I'm going to walk you through a bit more in depth like this later on in the video, when we will talk about also like appointment confirmations and reminders. But essentially you get the idea. Like we have a workflow for every single stage of the funnel and for every single scenario. So what happens is as soon as the lead gets moved from one scenario to like from one funnel stage to the next one, they also get moved to another workflow. So we just want to avoid to have follow-up messages going out to leads who already booked or who we already talked to, which is why we have those different workflows. So now you know how you can leverage GoHighLevel. Obviously, you can go way more in depth. Like there's nothing that you can't do with GoHighLevel, and it will be way too much for this video to really go into every single thing and walk you through everything. I actually got a video on my YouTube channel that I would really recommend, which is a whole GoHighLevel walkthrough. I think it's like probably 1 or 2 hours, very long, and you can look into it if you really want to learn this yourself. But I just wanted you to get an idea like what's actually possible using this software, and there's so much more which I'm going to walk you through later on in this video. So a lot of value in this one. Next one is the 24/7 AI booking machine. Now, the main tool that I use for this is called CloseBot. You can look it up. It's essentially just a texting AI that's integratable with GoHighLevel. So we're getting very technical right now. Bear with me. I'm trying to make it very simple. So what I just showed you was GoHighLevel. Back in here, so that's the workflow. Let's just go out of here. It also functions as a CRM. The messages that I just showed you in those workflows, here you can actually see them live being sent out. So let's just go into like a random conversation. You can scroll out to the very top and you can see the first message was, hey, this is Tyler, just letting you know we received your roofing inquiry shortly. And then, I asked them, do you want to schedule a consultation so we can check on your roof. Now, as soon as they reply, so let's just say they reply Saturday will be great in this case, it's a real lead. Then what happens? The AI will start to trigger in. So this is why in the workflow that I just showed you a second ago, we had no actions after they replied positive, because we actually have the bot handling that. So the bot completely takes over at this point. And how this works is we set up CloseBot on the back end to where whenever a lead replies to a text message, so whenever somebody answers, they get moved into the AI workflow within GoHighLevel, which then activates the AI. So you can see right here, the lead replied Saturday will be great. So the AI actually takes over and replies, got it. Before we proceed, could you let me know if you're looking for roof replacement, repair, installation, or siding work? And the reason why we the bot asks this question is because we configured it where the bot has multiple objectives. This right here is inside the bot software, which is CloseBot. And to be completely clear with you, I have a whole video on my YouTube channel. I think it's like was a couple videos before this one, where I think it's named like AI roofing chatbot or something, where I walk you through step by step exactly, you know, this what we set up here with this software and walk you through the software. So this, again, it's not going to be an in-depth video where I show you every little single technical thing. I just want to get you an idea of what's out there and what you can do. And then if you want more detailed information, you can either go on my channel or do your own research. But essentially what we do with this tool is I can real quick go to modify bot. So we essentially gave the bot all the info in terms of like, right here you can even say like, you know, the response delay time and all that to really make it sound very human, like not like a bot. And at the same time you can completely configure it, like you can give it your website, you can give it a knowledge base and train it on your company. So it's really like a virtual receptionist that works for you 24/7, which is great. So it can even answer questions like if a lead says, where are you guys located, what are you charged, the bot is able to handle the objections and answer the questions while still following the plan to book them in. And under the objectives, you can see we have multiple objectives. So the first objective is this one right here, which is we want to confirm what service the lead is looking for. So is the lead looking for you know, roof repair, roof installation, or whatever it is. And then we can go back to this right here. So you see the first question is it asks for the roofery, like what service it's looking for. So when the lead replies with the answer, in this case he did, so he said roof replacement, house is over 125 years old, then we go back to the bot and this first stage is checked off now. So priority 2, the address. So now if we go back here, the bot will actually ask for the address. So it says, thanks for sharing, could you provide your address so we can prepare for that. And then the lead just shared their address again. This just makes sure that, because sometimes like when a lead signs up, they might give you a wrong address. So this way we only get the, you know, the right address, 100%, like the lead texts us the right address. Now going back to the bot, you can see the third objective will be for the bot usually to explain the roof inspection. We don't do this always, but sometimes it makes sense for the bot to just explain, like, you know, let them know that a roof specialist will drive out to their home to thoroughly inspect their roof and provide an accurate free estimate. The inspector will specifically check for storm damage and so on, just to really prepare the lead, because a lot of the times to increase show rates and just increase, you know, leads just being prepared for the appointment, it's already enough to just tell them like what's going to happen. You can't assume that they already know everything. Like, you just want to make sure and you want to explain like you would probably do on the phone, like, okay, I'm going to drive out and this is going to happen and that's the procedure, this is how long it takes. So we usually want the bot to do that, and then after that just confirm the phone number and then book them in. So we can see how this conversation continued. The bot said, great, thanks, a roof specialist will visit your home, inspect the roof for storm damage and provide you with a free estimate. And then it tries to book them in. So what time on Saturday works for you? And then the lead said, oh, that will be great, early as possible, because I don't live till, let's say, 8 or 9 a.m. And then essentially that's how the bot books the lead in. And then on the back end, what will happen is the bot will look in the calendar like that we already connected, and it will, you know, mark the spot for 8 or 9 a.m., whatever, you know, when they booked for. And then what will happen is the lead will get sent into the appointment book workflow again, which will then notify everyone on the team that the appointment has been scheduled, so somebody can maybe still call them to confirm the appointment, and the lead will receive reminders. So now you know how this 24/7 AI booking machine works. If you want, again, more detailed insight on this, just go on my channel and watch the video, or just type in CloseBot roofing automation, whatever, on YouTube. If you made it to this video, you're probably gonna make that too. But yeah, that's definitely something great. And the main benefit is really, one, the speed to lead. Like, obviously the bot or the text messages like go out immediately all the time. So even if a lead comes in on Sunday at 3 a.m., there's immediately just a point of contact, and if the lead is replying to that message that we sent them, there's somebody, in this case the bot, that is taking over the conversation. And this just ensures that we always are the first person to be in touch with the lead, and that the speed to lead is super good, because when they signed up, that's when they're the warmest. So the first company, like they will reach out to a couple companies, and the first one to reach them is probably going to be the one that gets the appointments the first. So the possibility of you just booking them in and closing them will be the highest. So we don't just want anyone to fall through the cracks, which is why we have this bot running 24/7 while still calling them. So like I said, we still have the appointment setters calling them either way, even if we have the bot running, just to hit them from multiple angles. And there are really like 4 aspects to it that are really important. First of all, we use the software that I just showed you to notify the appointment setters internally. So let's just say a lead comes in, they immediately receive a text message with all the lead's info. So all they need to do, like your setter in this case, to take the phone, go on the text message and press dial. And essentially this allows the setter to call the lead as soon as possible, ideally within seconds, because that will, like I said, really, that's essentially speed to lead that will increase the booking rate and all the other numbers essentially. So it makes a big difference. Second thing is CRM management. So you might have your own CRM for those purposes, but just to be sure, like in here in GoHighLevel, it also functions as a CRM. So you have your pipeline, and what we do is we have all the setters on here. So whenever a lead comes in, the lead gets sent into this pipeline, into the CRM. So when the setter calls them up, they can always update the pipeline stage. So it's either no answer, or if the lead picks up, it's DQs, meaning the lead's just not qualified, or it's a booked appointment. Whatever it is, the appointment status gets updated. This just helps to have everything stay clean. And if there's somebody that doesn't reply, we make sure to have them in the pipeline. So, a couple hours later, somebody tries again. If the lead still doesn't reply, a day later somebody tries again. So this way we just don't have anyone, not a single lead, fall through the cracks. Like I said, like the only scenarios that we accept are either no or fuck off, and the second one is let's book an appointment. We don't accept that somebody's not responding essentially, which is super powerful. Third thing is calendar management. So if the setter books somebody in for an appointment, of course, like I said, we want the setter to book the appointment in through the CRM, because that ensures that the lead is being distributed to the setter, like the right closer, automatically. So the closer gets notified, and at the same time all the automations get triggered, and in the CRM it's also marked as set appointment, which will just help everyone to keep everything organized, not have a lead being dialed even though they already booked, or even texted even though they already booked. So very important calendar management. And then last thing is the booking flow. Our booking flow is what you can see on the screen right here. Now we've already kind of like modified it a bit, so this is kind of like the first version, but I just want to give you an idea like how we do this. So when we hire a setter, and we do have a call center, so to be fair, we train up our people. So if we start working with a roofing contractor, we set our trained setters on them, like on the leads. And our setters at least follow this procedure right here, which is a pretty big flow. And essentially, just to kind of like give you an example, like first of all, on the left, we have common objections, like what's this going to cost? When will you be able to fix my roof? Do you guys do metal, tile, slate, whatever it is? We have all the kind of like the objection handling sheet right here. Obviously, if you have seasoned setters that have been in the game for months or years, then they probably won't need this. Like they should know how to do this, but still it's good, especially if you hire new setters, to have this. Same thing goes for like just general information about like what different roof types are out there and stuff. But then the main thing will just be the flow. So this is how we structure things. Like we get very granular with this once again. Like when our setter calls a lead, it's either a pickup or voicemail. When it's voicemail, we have a very specific voicemail that the setter drops. If it's a pickup, then essentially they ask, just introduce yourself with the company name, and then I received your form that you filled out on Facebook for a free roof inspection. How are you doing today? And then, if they don't remember that they signed up, there's another specific message. If they still don't know, then it says like, I understand if you're not interested, and so on. Now, if it's a positive reply, then essentially, it shows them exactly what to do, like build rapport, respond accordingly, and emphasize if needed. Like I said, we go very granular, especially when placing new setters on this, to really increase, obviously, booking rates, because this is also like a huge factor. Now, like I said, this might not be super relevant to you because you might already have some seasoned and trained setters, but I would just recommend, even if you think that you have good setters, make them record the call, like through this software that we're using. Essentially all the calls that the setters do are being recorded. So once a week we just sit down and review the voice calls, see where we can improve, because there's pretty much always something where you kind of like can improve in terms of the script, in terms of the flow, what you say on the phone. And obviously setting is a super important role. Like I showed you in the beginning with those numbers, if you can just increase the lead response to appointment booking rate by 10%, that essentially increases your overall sales by 10%. So it's extremely important to get this dialed. And as you can see, if we go deeper down this thing, essentially what the setter does on the phone is just qualifying the lead, making sure that the lead is qualified, and then booking them in. You can pause if you want to read through all this, but it's essentially just a flow, like based on the answers that the lead's giving. And then it just goes all the way down here up until the setter finally books them in for an inspection, essentially. So pause the video, look at this if you want, and then you can see if you can implement any of this for your own business. So that was the appointment setting. So now we got the automated texting, we got the AI booking machine, we got the appointment setting, which is already a lot of things that allow us to have a very good speed to lead, a very good lead contact rate, which will essentially just increase our booking rates. Now from there, let's just say we do all those things like the calling, the text messaging and all that, and that will obviously lead to an appointment being booked. Now, an appointment being booked is obviously not an appointment that showed yet. So now when you remember the funnel that I showed you earlier, we're at the appointment show rate level essentially. So we want to increase the number of people booking an appointment and then also showing. Like that's the percentage we now want to increase. So that's what I mean when I say the funnel has layers to it, and at every single step we want to have something specific to improve that little thing. So now how we do this is essentially we still want to have like an immediate confirmation, including date and time, and I'm going to show you this in action here in a second. We want to have a reminder one day before, and we want to have a reminder 3 hours before the appointment. We want to have a reminder an hour before the appointment, and even 10 minutes before the appointment. And this might seem very excessive, like some people would say maybe it's too much, but from our experience, like in the grand scheme of things, like maybe 1 out of 20 people will get annoyed by it, but in general, it's really just increasing show rates by a lot, because people just receive those messages, they read them, and they're just a lot more prepared. Or if they can't make it, at least they cancel and you don't drive there 2 hours, or let your sales reps drive there. So that's the thing. And then a little bonus that I'm going to show you in a sec here is it's like introducing the sales rep. So I can't really show you an example workflow on this one because I don't want to reveal my client's data, but at the end of the day, this is pretty much what we do in terms of the flow. So it's very simple. Like on day one, let's say they just booked an appointment. The first message is, hey, this is Cedric with XYZ Roofing. We just got your appointment for Thursday at 10 a.m. See you then. So just a very simple confirmation. And then one day before, you can do something like just a quick reminder for our appointment tomorrow. We already prepared, I don't know what you want to say. Like we already looked at your roof and prepared some papers. Whatever you want to do, like that usually works very well for them to feel obligated to actually show to the appointment. Like saying, okay, I already prepared this. I've been working on that. And it just makes you seem like, even if it's just automations, if you make them personalized, it seems like you guys are already on it and very invested, which people really appreciate, instead of just having like super raw simple messages. Then 3 hours before, we still try to, instead of saying just a reminder for the appointment in 3 hours, we want it to be more personalized. Like we want to say something like, hey John, Cedric's already preparing for your appointment in 3 hours. He's just finishing up another appointment and then he will drive there. 1 hour before, Cedric's already on his way and will be there at 12 o'clock. And then 10 minutes before, whatever you want to do. So you get the idea. You want it to be like feel very natural and very personalized. And then again, the bonus is to introduce the sales rep. So what I just did is mention the sales rep's name, which in this case is Cedric. And then what we also do is we have like, this is an idea that actually somebody that I work with came up with, and I think it's amazing. So we essentially had those sales rep cards that we send out. So essentially within those appointment reminders, we also sent them this card introducing the sales rep himself. So just saying like their name, maybe some credibility, and then like a short little text, even like their phone number and stuff. So that way it really like connects the lead with your sales rep. And this really starts to make a lot of sense when you obviously start hiring closers and sales reps in your business. Because what a lot of the times, like what happens is that the setter is obviously a different person than the closer, maybe not, but in general, like, you just want to build a connection between the lead and the person that's actually going to be at their house and try to close them, because that's going to be the best preparation you can do. Like, when, in this case, Jared is going to knock at the lead's door, and they already know, like, who Jared is, how Jared looks like. Maybe, I mean, they also have, like, his personal phone number, for example, so if something comes up, the lead can just call Jared himself right away and talk to him on the phone already. And this just builds, like, a lot of trust, and really prepares people for the appointment. Like, as soon as Jared knocks at their door and you get all those reminders and the scorecard, then you can be pretty sure that the lead's not only going to show, but the lead's also going to be prepared. Like, the lead knows who he or she's talking to, which will, again, just increase the amount of deals being closed on the spot dramatically. And closing deals on the spot will be one of the biggest things, obviously, because then you don't lose them to competitors. So, very huge thing if you can implement this. Again, there's a workflow I have built for this in GoHighLevel as well. You get the idea. If you want more insight on how you can build this out technically, you can go on my channel and look into the videos or just do your research. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is email nurturing. So this is another thing that we implemented with this company. So we got automated emails that are being sent out to leads. Like, let's say a lead books an appointment, they immediately not only receive all those text messages, but also this email. Because where it's shifting is, like, a lot of companies are focusing on the text messaging, which is great because open rates are usually better than on email. But people are starting to not invest enough time into the email marketing, because the good thing about email is that you can get a lot more detailed and people actually pay attention to this a bit more. Because if somebody signs up with 5 roofing companies and they all send some text messages, some people might just stop reading them. But emails is kind of like a thing where, you know, they will always kind of like just check their emails, and then if they see something like this, they might read through it and it will nurture them. Like, this is what I mean when I say lead nurturing. It's like actually getting them familiar with the company, providing value, providing information. So once again, when the sales rep knocks at their door, they already know, okay, this company is legit. Like, they helped me a lot. They send me a bunch of valuable stuff. They actually care. And actually making the prospect and the lead feel like you care is a huge thing. So especially when it comes to, like, winning the sale, like, there will always probably be companies cheaper than yours. So you got to have, like, a selling point, and you got to get it to a point where leads are willing to pay $1,000 more just to go with your company, because they like your rep. They like how, you know, how much you care and what you do in the back end compared to the other companies who don't really care a lot. So this email right here, you can read through it. You can pause again. But essentially, it's just like a very simple email introducing the owner, talking about the company a bit, giving them a bit of information. So actually what we did right here is the owner recorded a video that we have embedded in this email. And in that intro video, again, I don't want to play it, but at the end of the day, like, it's just the owner, like, in a very short 30-second video saying, hey, I just saw that you made it, you signed up, you reached out to us for a roof estimate. No pressure at all. We're gonna reach out, or somebody on our team will reach out to you, contact you to just provide you with a free estimate. In the meantime, I have a second link attached in the email where you can just look into different types of roofing and just some valuable information. So it's really like a non-pressure approach where you just introduce yourself and just build trust. Like, it's all about getting, like, that trust factor, especially if you're dealing with wealthier individuals and homeowners who have, like, huge houses, multi-million-dollar houses. Then they really want to work with the right company with this. Like, they don't care about the money too much. They want to work with the right company. So winning their trust is a huge thing. And I think the owner, after they signed up, sending them a personalized video with the owner getting in front of the camera, talking about next steps, is probably one of the best things you can do to not only win trust, but also, like I said, increase all those numbers, like the show rate, the close rate at the end of the day, just pre-selling them on you and the company. So it all ties back into the same thing and the same numbers, but having all those steps in place and just paying attention to every single step of the process is just extremely crucial. So I know it was a bit of a longer video again. I hope it made a lot of sense. Again, if you want to go more technical, you can check out some other things on my channel. I talk about roofing marketing and all that stuff a lot on this channel anyway, so you can subscribe to the channel if you want. I would really appreciate that. That helps me out a lot, and obviously I'm dropping value here pretty much every week, trying to upload one video a week, and usually also talk about stuff like lead generation, Facebook ads, Google ads, how you can actually generate leads in the first place that are good, that you can then funnel into the system that I walked you through in this video. So I hope this was somewhat helpful. Maybe even if you just could, take like one thing from this video that you can implement in your business, that's all I want. And if you want to talk to me personally, then you can just go ahead. The first link in this video description will take you to my website where you can book a free strategy session with me, completely free, no obligation. It's going to be like 30 minutes to an hour, and we can just sit down, look at your business, talk about your business, see where we can improve things, and then if we can potentially work together, if it's a fit. If not, then it's totally fine. You can just keep watching my free content, and maybe one day you will want to work with me. Like, that's the reason why I'm doing those videos, completely transparent. Like, I want to help people out. I want to work with roofing contractors, but at the same time, I want to educate people and roofing contractors in terms of like what's out there. So just so you can tell, like, when talking to marketing companies and people in general, you can tell like what's BS and what's actually working. So hope this was kind of helpful, and I'll see you on the other side.